Now I've noticed over the past few weeks that YouTube seems to have started this new little thing where you say subscribe button and it actually does like a little highlight of the subscribe button, or like button and it actually does a little highlight of the like button. If you guys could start hitting those buttons for me. Now aside from those new button features, I kind of want to promote my own donation links. I've always had the PayPal Me link available in the banner and some of the video descriptions. If you send a donation to that PayPal link and leave your mailing address, I will send you a channel decal or 2 or 3 depending on how much you donate. Another method is of course YouTube's own super thanks. If you look at the bottom of this video, you'll see a tab next to the subscribe and like buttons that says thanks or whatever, and you can click that and actually do a channel donation. YouTube does take a percentage of that money. And then I've just added a third one called Buy Me a Coffee. So it's an affiliate website that you just kind of join up to, and it's to try and receive donations from your fans or followers. I do appreciate anything that anyone has sent me, and there has been the odd donation here and there. I've spent a small fortune on this channel and never expected to ever get the money back out of it. Working in here, doing my own stuff is not only beneficial for me, but being able to show people on YouTube how things are done, coming apart and going back together, or just giving a visual reference on something like where a hose connects or something. I know how big of a deal it is, so anything's appreciated. Do what you guys can. Don't worry if you can't. It's all good. I did get the headlights redone a second time. I ended up sanding them down to 1,000 grit and then stepping up to a 2,000 grit when the 1,000 wasn't really cutting the clear coat fine enough, and then doing a polish after that. I mean, there is still a little bit of haze in them, but they are rather clear and they light up really well. I also got that wiper shroud and the wiper arms all repainted in a semi-gloss. Now the windshield that I replaced less than a year ago actually did take a rock hit when I was going down the highway one day, and I have filled it in. You can still see it's a little bit of an issue, but most of the cracking has actually been filled in, it looks like. And I'll get a better idea back out in the sunlight and whether that's gonna last or not. And then I ended up doing a bit more of a hack repair on the exhaust to get it to last another year or so, some new gaskets and hardware. So my old 2005 Impreza RS is the car that keeps on giving. This is the exhaust off of that car, and I've just removed the leaking pipe off the Forester, and you can see it's been leaking all around these gumball welds that I have holding this mount on. But as I got the pipe removed from the back section, you can see the flange. I mean, there's basically nothing left of it, and it's ready to fall off anyway. So I'm gonna put on this pipe from the Impreza, and then when I started looking at its flange, it's in really bad shape, and I've already cut off the muffler. So I ended up finding this good flange, and so I think what I'm going to do here is just cut this one off, weld this one on, and then get a new gasket and some new hardware and fasten it back up to the muffler that's already in the Forester. I've got this flange cut off and the end cleaned up here, but I've come over to the actual mount and started to clean up around it because I noticed the welds cracked along the bottom, and the exact same thing that happened to the other pipe is happening to this one. Now, because I am limiting my budget and trying to keep costs low on this Forester build, all I'm going to try and do here is fill this in with some weld and hopefully call it good for a year. This pipe is eventually going to have to be replaced, and likely some other exhaust work will have to be done as well. I mean, the pipe is gotten paper thin. It's not going to last very long, but if I get 1 year out of it, it was worth my time. So slapping that pipe in there took care of all the leaks. The header does add quite a bit of sound to the exhaust, even though the exhaust is pretty much OEM, the rest of it. Pulled the Forester out of the garage, ready to go for some kind of little drive. I'm not going to spend too much time, just enough to kind of get a little feel for it and a little listen to it, and then I'll probably end this video short and keep it quite short. Something I did notice is the check engine light came on after like the third or fourth startup, so I'm going to do a quick scan of that first. Okay, that's a little interesting. Cylinder number 2 misfire. And then some kind of proprietary code, which really shouldn't matter to me at all. And I haven't felt it misfire at all, so we're just going to clear these and assume they won't come back. But something I'll have to keep an eye on. It's been running like a champ this whole time, so I don't expect that to come back. Alright, get you guys turned around to my pretty face and let's go. So the first thing I noticed, the clutch pedal, I mean, it feels good. The clutch pressure plate, even though it's much added load to it, it doesn't feel any more resistant. The clutch in the Impreza is twice as heavy as this. Now, when I put this clutch set into my old car that had a cable-operated clutch, you could really feel how heavy the clutch was. But in this hydraulic setup, it just feels way too easy. I know it's bled well. I'm thinking the free play on the pedal might be a little bit too much, so I might have to actually adjust the rod out a little bit so I can get more of a push onto the clutch. But I guess we're ready to go here. But the clutch feels really good though. It's not lumpy at all, and it grabs right a hold. And then shifting feels really good as well. I noticed there is just a tiny little bit of shudder, but hopefully that'll plane out of the flywheel and clutch plate, or the clutch disc, as we break everything in. So the exhaust is very quiet. Can't hear the exhaust at all. I mean, I got that sealed up really well. That seems to be really responsive, have plenty of power. I haven't put like any serious load on it yet, but going up the little hills that we have, it seems to do exactly what I want it to. Here's a little juice up the hill and it just climbs no problem. The engine is very quiet. I almost can't hear the piston slap, and I can't hear the exhaust at all. So it's going to be really nice on the highway. Shouldn't have any droning out of it. And really, even if I wanted to get a little bit more volume out of the exhaust, I have like 3 different axle backs I could try. So I think this is going to do it. I am going to be planning a trip here very shortly and take you guys with. I may end up uploading that on the other channel, but I do have another video I want to make, so we'll be uploading that next. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.